Welcome to this video, which hopefully will help students execute the program or the application in Chapter 2 of the Android textbook. I'll apologize up front for two things. Number one, I'm trying to develop a cold which I really don't want to have, as neither you guys want to have it either. And I'm just having a real dry throat today, so I'll try to minimize the clearing of the throat, drinking of the water and all that to get through this video. Second thing I want to make sure you understand is that I don't have the hours to make perfect videos professionally as maybe you do in churches or in more professional environments, because I have 102 students, 6 classes, a church job, and I just have to do this when I can, folks. Otherwise I would be doing nothing but constantly doing videos and grading papers, and I would be Walmart. So I'm not being defensive when I say this, but I want to make sure that people understand the circumstances involved. The videos are for you and not for the world. If you look on page 32, and this will be the first of several videos that I will do so I can break this up and again minimize any kind of problems with volume and quality and length, you'll see that it has a screen that opens up that says Simple Salsa and a picture called an image in this programming lingo, and then a button that says View Recipe, so that when you click on the button it will take you to the recipe. If you look at some of the applications that are out there in the real world, like Epicurious, you can get an idea of how this works. So they may have a series of recipes, and you click a button and it goes to that particular recipe. To start this, we'll start with page 33, step 1, where you open the Eclipse program, which I've already done, and hopefully you've already been successful with your chapter 1 Eclipse program that was all text, the traditional Hello World application. Alright, you'll click the new button, and if you have problems with the new button, as I do very often when I click the word file, I often can't get it to slide over because my mouse will shift. I'll use the keystroke alternative rather than fighting the mouse by holding alternate and shift at the same time and then the letter N. That will lock in the menu. Again, even though this is a 2013 book, publishers cannot change things as quickly as the web can, so Eclipse has changed some of their menus, and you'll see some things a little bit differently. If you hear some pauses through the videos, because I'm having to take water to keep my throat from drying up and having to stop this video and risk the volume being reduced again when it comes back on. Choose Java Project from this menu, or excuse me, choose Project, I apologize, the word project with the dots after it. Then you're going from this first menu to choose Android Application Projects. If you're one of these exact word kind of people from the book, you're going to see some discrepancies, and that's another big reason I'm doing the video rather than just having you rely on the book, which has some differences. Choose Android Application Project, click the word Next. I'm still in step 1 on page 33, and if you need to change the place where you're storing it, that's perfectly okay. You can go to your location and take care of that. The application or project name will be called Healthy Recipes, and I would advise you to be very careful with your spelling and don't get in a New York hurry trying to get this done. When you type application name, the project name will match it. The package name, it doesn't recommend the com right there, as you see. So what Corinne has mentioned in her book for the package name she recommends is net.androidbootcamp.healthy recipes. Typically this is done with all capital letters. Again, I would be very careful about spelling in these particular cases. So you have Healthy Recipes for both the applications and projects name with the space between them. The package name is net.androidbootcamp.healthy recipes. No spaces there. Continuing with the next button, it'll give you options for the attributes of the icon set. We don't need to worry about that right now. And we choose Blank Activity in this screen, which is already chosen for us. And in the final screen, this is where step 1 at the very last sentence has the word main. You'll go to where it says activity name, and for create activity right here you'll actually choose the name. I think main activity would be fine, but if you want to match the book you can choose main right there, and I think you'll be fine. And the title will show main also. I think you could actually do it either way, and then click finish, and you'll end up with the, give it just a few minutes, not literally, maybe a few seconds. It's not as quick as we want it to be, especially if you're younger, but you'll get the traditional screen. There's the title, Healthy Recipes, up here. This is the emulator right here, and of course you got your palette over on the left hand side. You have the different areas of your program. If you were to click main and look at that one, you'll see the code for main. If you click activity underscore main, you'll get the emulator here, and you'll see, of course, the various folders and files that are over on the other side on the left side. Okay, and you'll go, as step 2 is already said on page 34, you'll click the finish button, and if necessary you can delete the hello world that's right here in the center. That was from the last program. Just click on that and just hit your delete key on the keyboard, and that will make that text go away. Alright, the book refers to on page 35 the differences between what they call linear and relative layouts. I won't go into that in the interest of time, but basically you're going to have a layout that will be called relative. It basically just organizes the components in relation to each other. There's not a strict horizontal or vertical rigidness to it. It allows a lot more flexibility with it. And we're already by default in this layout. Down at the bottom of the screen you'll see graphical layout down at the bottom below the palette. And if you were to right click on this emulator and choose change layout about halfway down the list, it would show you the kind of layout that you have. Now the book is implying that you need to change this to relative, but you already have relative up there. See, it says change from relative layout. So if you already have relative layout, you're good. If not, you'll change it to relative layout and you'll be where you are now. Going now to page 37 and 38, what we're going to be doing here, instead of having to go into the code, the Java code, and actually type this, we're going to use the properties pane that will help us for it. Hopefully it will not be a PAIN pane for you. And what we'll do again is we're going to place the 3 components on this main screen. This is an easier part. We're going to place the title Simple Salsa from page 32, then the picture, and then we'll view the recipe. We'll do the button that lets you view the recipe. So starting on page 38 on step 1, we're in the main window right here. Step 1, we've already made this a relative layout, so that's taken care of. In step 2, after the OK button, what we'll do now to get the first words up there, we'll click on the form widget palette, which mine's already set up, but if yours is not, you just click over here where it says form widgets. You did this in the last chapter. Look at TextView. I hope this is not too tiny for you to see. And just hold your mouse down and just drag a copy of TextView over in this area. Notice how this is horizontally lined up, but if you move over toward the middle, that vertical green dotted line will eventually change to where it's solid, and that will make it center, and it will say center horizontally, and you can put it as high or as low as you want to. I won't be picky about that. Let go when you feel like it. And apparently in my case I've got to install something. I don't know what the big deal is here, but apparently I've got an error right here which I didn't have before. I've had a battle with this program. That's one reason I delayed everything thus far in making this video, because there were so many issues here that I had to battle. I got this program to finally work perfectly, but I ran into some battles with my software. I'm not really sure what's going on with it. But in any event, you go ahead and do this. Go ahead and click on, right click on TextView, and at the very bottom click Show In and then Properties. And you'll get a screen. Again, you could go into main and you could actually look at the code and make changes here if you wanted to. It's easier to do if you go ahead and just use the palette and let the properties take care of it. Right now it says TextView by default, but if you go up to the very top it says ID, which is a text view. That's the kind of widget that you have. And if I go down where it's got the capitalized word text, I can click on this, change it as it says on page 39. You click the text property, and on page 40, step 3, you will change the word text view to the word simple salsa. I'm typing the word simple space salsa. Spelling is important. And then you can move down about 4 rows down where it says TextSize, and right beside that you'll type the letters 40 or the number in letters 40 SP. It's very important that you do not space between the 40 and the S. It's one big blob word, 40 SP, just running together. That gives you the scaled pixel size. Is what the SP stands for. So it's the pixel size that you want for your phone screen. Hit enter when you're finished, and it will change the words to simple salsa. I'm not going to worry about the errors right now that I have in terms, except if I need to spell it correctly. So I'm going to go back and change the spelling. And it should change this for you. I'll click on this and make that change. I don't want to change the video right now. There we go. And it's now 40. You can think of 40 pixels if you want to, just like a font size. All right, that takes care of that part. Now we need to get a picture. Now to get the picture, which is in pages 40 and 41, we want to go in and we want to add a picture file to the resource folder. Now the resource folder, sorry about that, my headphones slipped. In the resource folder, they're actually, and the resource folder is spelled RES over here. If you were to click to open it up and see the subdivisions, you'll see 3 or actually 4 folders that describe the density of the screen. You may have a high density screen, a medium, or a low density, and I think there's an extra high in there now. That's what these first letters H and I and M and XH for extra high stand for. If you open up the high density folder, the one that says HDPI, the top one probably, you're going to see 2 pictures already in there, basically that lay out the emulator itself, the word healthy recipes, the black background with the white letters, etc. You want to add a picture to that called Salsa. Now you can get this off of the website for the book, or you can get this off of Blackboard if you want to do this. I probably should have told you this ahead of time, didn't think about it. But I'm going to go in. I happen to have a copy of it. Now yours will not match mine. I want to be extremely emphatic here, because you're not on my computer, you're on your computer. I happen to have solutions to the exercises, so I happen to know where they are. So again, you will not be able to get it from here. You'll have to get it elsewhere. So I'm going to find this in this res folder. Basically, once you find the salsa picture, you'll just copy and paste it. You can drag it in if you want to, whatever direction. Say you can do this any way you want to. All of you hopefully are comfortable with copying and pasting stuff in place. So I would just click on the drawable HDPI folder, right click it, paste it, and my salsa will land there. That way I can get it into my program. You want to have it in the same folder permanently with the rest of your Android Java application. Alright, now to actually get this in here, once you've copied it, and that's what steps 1 and 2 on page 41 and 42 are about, once you have the salsa picture in your folder, you can add it very easily. Page 42, step 1. You can click the Images and Media folder in the palette. The very first option on the left, the little tiny one, is called an image view. Basically, you just drag that over into your emulator below Salsa, and again, get it where you want it centered, as high or low as you want it. Let go when you feel like it, and it will ask you to pick what resource you want to put in there. I'm going to choose Salsa from that folder. There's the picture. I hit OK, and there's my picture. Again, I'm not worried about perfection now. I just want you to get the functionality of the program. Third thing we'll do in this first screen will be to add a button. Now again, the purpose of a button in Java is so that when you click it, there's an action to it, and we'll tell the computer what to do later on in another video when we click that particular button. Right now we're just going to add it in there. The button is up there in Form Widgets, so click Form Widgets, the very first folder to your left at the top of the palette. There's actually something here called a button, and so you'll drag it in there. Step 1, page 43. Take the button, drag it in place. Again, if you want to center it, just wait until the green lines sort of match up with each other. Let go when you feel like it. And the button is selected. Now that button must be selected for you to make changes to it. So you have to have it clicked on where the blue handles are around it. Again, if you look at the bottom of the screen, if I scroll up to the top of the Properties panel, and if by chance you've lost the Properties panel, you can right click on the button and go to Show In and choose Properties in case you followed the book literally and lost it. So click my button again. I'm going to go up to the very top where it says ID, should be the very top line. And right now it says button 1 by default. You want it, instead of saying @ plus ID / button 1, you want to change the button 1 to the word button recipe, spelled in this case, spell it carefully, BTN, and Java is case sensitive, capital RECIPE, button recipe. You want the text size, so scoot on down. You want to change, now that's just describing the button from a programming standpoint. Instead of the button having the word button, you want to go down here to the bold word text, change the name of button to the name View space Recipe. If it jumps on you, don't be afraid. Just look for the text size. If that button if it by chance jumps on you like it did for me right here, and you got to watch these screens. Sometimes they'll hop and skip on you. I've got both texts showing up now. I'm going to go in and I'm going to type in once again View Recipe. I'll actually go ahead and enter that to let you know that it works, and the other text will change as well. The text size, which again is bolded, sometimes it flips back and forth on you. I think you can change the text size right there and be fine, and choose 30 SP right there. Again, step 1, page 43. Be sure the SP and the 30 are not spaced. Hit enter. Makes it a little bit larger. And this basically sets up the first page of your emulation. You can look at page 44 to kind of match it. Don't worry right now about that background being black with gray letters. If you've got the white for right now, that's perfectly fine. I wouldn't let that bother you. You may want to go ahead even and save this. Go to File, Save All. Save everything. It's perfectly safe to do that. And that will complete the first part of your exercise. I'll go through the rest of this in another video. And again, don't worry about the errors right now. You more than likely won't get these, but I'll work on this and get this fixed. Okay? Hopefully this is helping you out.